I'm so sorry.
Fragments that they found. So this biggest part of it here is the one that they found in 93, and then they came back when they were accused of planting it and excavated and found these other two fragments that you see over here. You see the white, they've kind of highlighted in white where it says Beit David.
Okay, Biblical Archaeology Tuesday. Today I'm going to talk about the Tel-Stele. Dan is a place, remember the tribe of Dan? It's one of the tribes that occupy the furthest northern part of Israel, near the Lebanon border. And in an excavation from this area, they found a broken stela, broken in bits. There was clearly writing on it. The thing about, not so much pottery or stones or something, it's the writing on it. They from the script, they can kind of guess whether it's Proto-Canaanite or Hebrew, ancient Paleo-Hebrew, or what Ugarit, which is the cuneiform. And from there, it's already possible to read what it is, because there's so many potteries, shards of pottery with writing, and they've already come up with the alphabet. And from the alphabet, able to read what's written on it. Albeit the Tel-Stele is broken up and the inscription is not clear, but from what is left, one can make up what it says there, and have it correspond in a story in the Bible to see who raised it up and who they were talking about. Usually stela of this sort is to commemorate a military battle. It's never to commemorate like life is so good, and but it's always to commemorate a military battle. 2 Kings chapter 8 verse 16. Son of King Ahab is King Joram. The story of the Battle of Mesha in 2 Kings 3, King Joram was the son of Ahab and king in Israel, the northern kingdom. So it wouldn't be, foreseeable that it would be found in the northern Israel. In the south, it says Jehoram, son of King Jehoshaphat, became king, married one of Ahab's daughters, and did evil in the Lord's sight. Verse 19 of 2 Kings 8, but the Lord was not willing to destroy Judah, for he had made a covenant with David and promised that his descendants would continue to rule forever. So when King Jehoram, that means the southern kingdom, died, and his son King Ahaziah ruled, his mother was Athaliah, daughter of Ahab, granddaughter of Omri. So from this we can remember the names of one generation after another. There's the king of Israel in the north, king of Judah in the south. So when one king is raised in the north, maybe the king of Israel was ruling for some time already, and vice versa. They shift. So, but there is a time when they do coincide. And we hear of King Ahab and Jezebel. And we know they have children. So they kind of like the royal family of Europe. They intermarry. They marry, especially the royal Habsburg family of Austria. They intermarry among the royalty in Europe. So similarly here, the kings of Israel, the kings of Judah their children marry each other. And in verse 28, Ahaziah, king of Judah, joined King Joram, king of Israel, in a war against King Hazael of Aram. And we find here, just as in the previous story, that the king of Israel called the king of Judah to come and fight with him against Mesha, the Moabite king, remember? And they, together with the third king, king of Edom, the three kings fighting against King Mesha. Here we see the two kings joining forces to fight another enemy, King of Aram. In this case, we know who he is from the Bible, King Hazael. And as the war was unfolding, the Lord had plans to destroy Ahab's family for the sins and the sin of Ahab and Jezebel. The task fell on Jehu, who was a son of Jehoshaphat and an uncle to the current king of Israel, Ahaziah, the north. Elisha crowned Jehu next king of Israel. So you already have two kings there, the king of Israel and the king of Judah. Names are Ahaziah and Jehoram. And they're all related because they married King Ahab's daughter or something like that. It's complicated. I read it many times. I thought I had it down pat, but here I'm looking at my notes and I'm all over the map again. So regardless, just keep those names in mind. The two kings there fighting the king Hazael of Aram. And also God already has plans for a third person, Jehu, to kill both these two kings. So in the battle against King Hazael of Aram, Joram was wounded, went back to Jezreel, and Jehu went after him. And he found King Ahaziah was there too. The two kings were, one of them was wounded, so the other king came to see him, and Joram found the two kings together. Whoa. So in an immense battle, Jehu killed both kings of Israel and Judah. And Jehu then went after Jezebel, who at this time, even though Ahab had died, Jezebel was still alive. And also went after Ahab's 70 surviving sons. And the priests of Baal, Jehu destroyed every trace of Baal worship except for some golden calves. And then Jehu died. Verse 32, at about that time, the Lord began to reduce the size of Israel's territory. The Lord promised that David's family would continue to rule. But he, rather than destroying it completely, he kept his promise by reducing the size of the kingdom of Judah. And gave victory to King Hazael of Aram. So King Hazael of Aram was able to conquer several sections of the country east of the Jordan, including all of Gilead, Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh. So what's this got to do with the Tel-Stele, which is in 3 fragments? From the little that is left of the inscription, it is clear who raised it. It was raised by a king, okay? The text was in Aramaic. The god was Hadad. Because the inscription said, Hadad made me king. And it also says, I, whoever raised it, killed King of Israel. I killed King Ahaziah of the house of David. So from this, what's left of the inscription, it is suspected that this stela was raised by Hazael, king of Aram. He uses Aramaic, he's a king. And though he did not personally kill the two kings of Israel and Judah, this events happened in the blood purge of Jehu, as recorded in 2 Kings 9. So sometimes kings do take credit for the actions of other people. What's most significant of the Tel-Stele were the words Beit David, meaning house of David, signifying that King David was not a mythical figure. He was a historical figure, and that there was a Davidic dynasty. And God promised that if his descendants were obedient, that David's descendants will always rule. It is also significant that Jesus' earthly genealogy is from the line of David. Jesus, the true Davidic king, will rule in an everlasting kingdom. So this surely prove that there is a house of David, that his subsequent descendants sat on the throne, albeit a very weakened and smaller kingdom than his. God kept his promise. And it's amazing that from archaeology, we will find more as time goes by, that we live in really exciting times, that we are able to see what scoffers say, there's no such thing, David and Goliath, yeah, right, and all the other figures. But slowly, as we unearth more things from the ground, it does prove the veracity of the Bible, the words of the Bible, that the history is correct. And as I progress with this series, there are more amazing discoveries, that there's no reason for us to disbelieve. There's no reason for us not to hang on to the Word of God and find it in it true meaning of life.